Let's go through a 10-minute reclined yin session. If you're unfamiliar with yin yoga, yin is more of a passive type of yoga. So a lot of the poses are held for longer periods of time, so anywhere from 1 minute all the way up to 5 minutes. And the idea in yin style yoga is that we surrender to the pose. And so it's really optimal for helping us recover from injury, preventing injury down the road, and connecting brain and body. And so what we try to do through our yin practice is bring ourselves into a position that's somewhere around a 5 or a 6 out of 10 in terms of intensity and effort level. And so that allows us, once we're in the position, to feel the stretch, feel where our body is at, so know exactly where we've placed our joints and how they're feeling. But then we can also breathe. So we're not pushing so hard that we're in pain or that we have to hold our breath due to the intensity of the position. Okay, so reclined means we're going to be laying down for this entire session. We're actually only going to go through probably 3 or maybe 4 if we can get to it, postures, doing them on each side for a minute or 2 each. And this is a really great way to end your day. Yin is fabulous for stretching your muscles, breathing, and then going to bed. The benefit of doing it at night, I mean, any time of day is great, but the benefit of doing it specifically at night, for those of you who have targeted injuries or areas of your body that really need some release, we're able to stretch them out, sort of build circulation, all those wonderful things, and then go to bed where our body is allowed to just rest, absorb, and recover that kind of work that we just put into it. Okay, so when we first lay down, we're going to bend our knees. So a bent leg position when you're reclined is very beneficial for allowing us to connect our lumbar curves, that's this low back curve, with the ground. So I want everybody just to bend their knees, lift their hips just a little bit to hover, and then tuck your pelvis as you place your back down to the mat. Bring your hands to your belly, close your eyes. And the first thing we're going to do is just take our left foot up towards the ceiling and draw some circles on the roof. So both directions. With your hands on your abdomen, just notice the connection of your low back into the floor. It's also fabulous to allow us to breathe into our hands, so deep belly breath. And then we're going to take this left ankle, cross it over your right knee, and come into figure 4. So try to open your hip as much as you can. You can even take your hand and kind of assist that movement. Keep your shoulders down for this pose tonight or today, whenever you're practicing. Just breathe. Think of that 5, maybe 6 out of 10 that I spoke of at the beginning. You'll certainly feel this in the outside of your hip. I know for some it translates into sort of front pocket area or maybe your inner knee. Study your body, so really know how you're feeling here. Pay close attention so we can compare one side to the other. But most importantly, just try to relax your muscles. So think about relaxing the outside of your hip, relaxing your glute, your belly. Take one more deep breath. And then uncrossing. Good job. Just do whatever you need to do to kind of release from that. Windshield wipers tend to feel really nice. And then reset. So we want to give our spine, especially the sacral spine, the low back, this same advantage as we did on the opposite side. So lift your hips a little bit. Come into that little baby bridge. Tuck your pelvis as you roll back down. Take your hands either to your belly again, or another great hand position is to take them just slightly away from your hips. Turn your palms to face up, and then we'll take the right foot up towards the ceiling. Circular movements. Breathing. You should feel like your entire back is supported by the floor underneath of you here. And this is totally organic movement. So whatever feels good, whatever pattern or word or design you want to move with your toes is great. Pointing and flexing. And then let's bend our knee. You're going to cross now. Right ankle over left knee. Notice me open up my knee. So open your hip, your knee as much as you can. Again, you can take the right hand to assist you with that a little bit. And then just settle into this pose. Breathe, close your eyes. See if you're able to relax through the muscles that support your hips. Comparison is not something to shy away from in yoga. It's not always needing or required to be critical. I mean, you certainly want to recognize the differences, but I try to have a positive mindset, try to think of things in terms of what felt better than the other as opposed to what felt worse than the other. Just reframe your thoughts, but be really intentional about keeping your focus in your body so that you can study yourself and feel exactly how your right hip is in comparison to the left. Ease in which you can be in these postures, any discomfort, any sensations through your body. Let's take one more deep breath. Go ahead and uncross. Take your feet down. And again, just a few little windshield wipers. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna have you guys bring your knees up. So up to about a 90-degree angle, okay? Try not to let your back flare away from the floor. Keep your core slightly engaged. Tee your arms out, and then just nice and slowly, we're descending our knees towards the left. Now your goal is to get connection with the left leg. Now that might not be all the way to the floor. You might need to put a block or a pillow underneath of your knee. If you can get your knee down, keep your gaze up. Try to keep your right shoulder blade connected with the ground. Sometimes taking left hand to the top of the stack is helpful. Should feel like a deep twist through the middle of your back, and some of you will really feel it in your low ribs and your hips as well. Take one more breath. You can try to come back that same way, or you can really come back to the center however you need to. Take your feet down, reset your back. Same thing, opposite side. So lift your shins, stack your knees on top of your hips, keep your core engaged. A nice slow and controlled descent towards the right. Again, the goal is to find a resting point for the outside of your right leg. Hopefully you can keep this left shoulder blade connected. We don't want to roll to our side. We want to twist through our spine. Keep breathing, you guys. Right hand again can come to the top of your legs if that helps. Take one more deep breath. Come back to the center. I want you just to hug your knees into your chest. You can interlace your hands, or you can just hold each knee independently and just take some rocks side to side. Feel where your back is connected with the floor. And try to keep your mind focused on that sensation. We want to go, our brain wants to take us to our hands, to our touch. So it wants us to notice how our knees feel. But for the purpose of body awareness, I'm more concerned about how your low back feels. So just notice that rocking sensation. Find a little pattern or a rhythm that feels good to you. And then just gently release. Let your feet once again find the floor. So reset your back. I know I'm a bit of a broken record when it comes to that, but super important. You're gonna walk yourself to the inside edge of your feet is touching here, and then let both knees drop open, come into butterfly. Keep your feet together. Just let your knees open to whatever depth they can. Hands are gonna come to our belly. Try to relax through your inner thighs, relax through your hips, your knees. Breathe into your belly. Try to imagine a candy cane shape with your breath. So as you're inhaling through your nose, you're going to try to channel that breath all the way down through the throat, all the way down to the diaphragm, pressing down intentionally with your diaphragm and feeling that rise of your belly into your hands. As you exhale, just try to find heaviness and softness through your back, through your shoulders, your face. Reclined butterfly is one of those positions that we could stay in for a long time. You could stay here, you could relax here for several minutes. For the purpose of the video, we're just going to stay maybe 2 more deep breaths. And then before we move, I want you to think of pulling your belly to your spine and imagine you're squeezing with your inner thighs. So really recruit those muscles through our groin, through our legs to draw our knees back to center. And then again, just come into a few of those little windshield wipers. And we're gonna finish off this recline session just focusing on our shoulders a little bit. So take your arms nice and wide. You can have your legs in whatever feels comfortable. You can lengthen them down. You can keep your knees bent as I'm going to. Reach up towards the ceiling here. And then come into eagle. So cross your right arm underneath of the left and see if you can wrap around. Oh, a little self back adjustment when I did that, which is quite nice. Okay, and then you're just gonna let your hands and your elbows and everything kind of relax down. And take your focus to your spine. So breathe into your back, almost like we're pressing our spine into the mat as we inhale. If you can't do eagle, grab around like you're giving yourself a hug. Just reach for your shoulders here. The key is to allow the chest and the biceps and the neck to be really nice and heavy. Unwind or let go. Open your arms all the way out beside you. Totally relax through your hands. Last bit of work is to do the opposite. So bring the left arm underneath of the right. Again, you could just hug yourself or you could wrap around into eagle and then relax this position. So let your hands just come to your forehead. Let your elbows press into your sternum or into your chest. Try to relax your biceps. Relax your neck, your shoulders, anything that you feel you're holding tension. And then focus on breathing into your spine. Press your spine into the floor. As you exhale, just totally empty your lungs. Let's do one more breath. Good job. This time as you unravel, take all 4 extremities up to the ceiling. Jellyfish or dead bug, I call it jellyfish. Kind of reach up and wiggle, but then we want total heaviness. So let your shoulder blades, let your hips, everything just be super heavy here. Surrender to gravity. It's really easy to feel gravity, especially over your cheeks, your collarbones. Be as heavy as you can. Good job, and then draw your knees in. That is it. You can come back up to a seated position. You also could just stay reclined and take Shavasana. You could keep stretching at this point, but I hope you enjoyed that quick little reclined yin session. Like I mentioned at the beginning, super awesome to incorporate, like even 10 minutes like we just did before bed. You'll climb into bed, your muscles will be stretched out. They'll have an opportunity just to relax and be heavy, and hopefully you wake up in the morning with a little more spring in your step. So have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is. Namaste.